Welcome back to the Destiny University Take Control of Your Psyche program. This is Module 2, Understanding Codematic Dashboarded Disintegration in the Fictional Self. This is, of course, Destiny University, and we're on to it here. So what is Codematic Dashboarded Disintegration? So this lesson identifies the biggest obstacle between you and your authentic self, the false identity you are programmed to carry. The identity isn't natural. It is installed by repetition, fear, shame, and cultural approval seeking. We call it the Codematic Dashboarded Self, or the Fictional Self. Codematic dashboarding is a disintegrating force relative to the fully integrated adult heterosexual psyche. And this speaks to the programming that is invisible conditioning absorbed from childhood onward, voices of parents, teachers, culture, media, religion, peers. Dashboarded disintegration means that you begin living through a panel of rules and measurements, and you feel like you're on autopilot in a car, and you're sitting in the passenger seat, and you're not necessarily sure where you're going. It feels like somebody else is doing the driving instead of being connected directly to reality. So you didn't ask for this programming, but you've been living by it as if you were, it was your own truth when it's not. And if you don't make it conscious, you mistake the mask for your authentic face. Step 1 of freedom is naming the mask for what it is. So the dashboard metaphor, and I mentioned this before, but imagine you're driving in a car. It's your car, but you're not in the driver's seat. You're in the passenger seat. Someone else is driving you to where you're supposed to be going, but you don't get to decide where the car goes. This is the dashboarded disintegration, disintegrated living. And so the tragedy is not that necessarily dashboards exist all there. It's horrible. The tragedy is that we have mistaken them for reality. But reality is outside the window, and it's your authentic self that's waiting, your integrated psyche that's waiting for you. So Codematic scripts. Roles are like costumes. Be the good child. Be the strong man. Be the selfless woman. Instead of authenticity, you wear a mask to earn approval. These roles are rewarded by society, but they are disconnected from your truth. And your truth is your integrated adult heterosexual psyche. Disconnected from your undashboarded, fully integrated adult heterosexual psyche, which is indeed your truth. So the code running behind the role, I'm not enough unless I achieve, love must be earned. These beliefs feel absolute, but they are not the reality. They are installed operating instructions for the dashboard itself. Habits formed to keep the role alive, consistent with the dashboarded beliefs, as we just mentioned before. And these are like apps running in the background of your disintegrated fictional self. You didn't install them, but they drain your battery and control your behavior. So signs of fragmentation, you feel split. One version at work, another with family, another with friends. Each identity feels partial. You rarely feel whole. Dashboard disintegration leads to conflict. The need for approval clashes with the need for truth. You feel torn, anxious, or paralyzed. You feel learned helplessness. Joy lasts only as long as the dials flash approval. The moment external validation fades, emptiness returns. I once worked with a high-level executive. He had status, power, and wealth, but he was confessed to me, I feel hollow inside. Why? Because every choice was made for the dashboarded disintegrated self, the fictional self, the promotions, the title, the applause. The authentic self beneath was starving. So the neuropsychology of programming. Programming isn't just mental, it's physical. When you're taking on programming, you are getting dashboard disintegrated away from your fully integrated adult heterosexual psyche, and in doing so, away from love. Dashboards feel hard to escape because they're a codematic disintegrating force on your nervous system. But here's the good news. Neuroplasticity means you can carve new grooves. You can get to the fully integrated psyche for authenticity. So here's a reflection prompt. Whose voice is behind the dashboard? A parent, a child, cultural, societal expectation. Dashboarded disintegration and approval seeking is the challenge. Is this expectation truly mine, or did I inherit it? If it's not mine, why am I still living it? We encourage our students to notice the difference between their authentic inner voice and external voice of programming, the dashboarded disintegrating force. Reflection creates separation. Once the voice is seen as foreign, the mask, i.e. fictional self, no longer feels natural. So the takeaway is the dashboarded disintegrated self is the fictional self that is not you, and it's merely codematic and can be deprogrammed to get to the underlying fully integrated psyche. It is a mask, a performed panel installed by culture and society, and the first act of liberation is not destroying the dashboard, it is simply seeing it. Awareness is power, and then you can work to deprogram it, turning it off. And then the closing line here is, once you recognize the dashboard as a mask yielding the fictional self, you create the possibility of stepping beyond it. That single act opens the door to reclaiming your psyche. Thanks, guys. Stay on to the next one.